MYSUARA FM.
Good morning. Okay, Miss Wan sihat?
Okay, sihat Alhamdulillah. How are you, DJ Arin?
Alhamdulillah, dia sihat. Okay, so what about the topic?
Okay, for today's topic, last slot, in previous slot, we talk about British and American English. So for today's slot, as promised, it's about Manglish.
Manglish.
Yes. Okay, so speaking of Manglish, Manglish is actually a short for Malaysian English, yes. Just as English, Singlish means Singaporean English. So Manglish is
ada Singlish?
Yes.
Oh, okay, first time.
That is Singaporean English. So Manglish stands for Malaysian English. Alright. So
tak dengar pun Indonesian English. Still English kot?
Itulah.
In English. Nampak sangat American Malaysia dengan Singapore ni suka
yes,
bahasa.
correct. That's the reason why so far I have not heard about Indonesian English for the acronym of it, but probably because they really hold on their language, their mother tongue. Alright, so Manglish, as we all know, is a unique dialect of English spoken on the streets in Malaysia. Alright, and speakers of Manglish from the countries, different ethnic groups that we have here in Malaysia, tend to intersperse varying amounts of expressions or interjections. Okay, not really a language itself, but also the expressions or interjections like la, day, tambi. Okay, from their mother tongue. Tomorrow lah, can lah, from their mother tongue. So be it Malay, be it Chinese, or be it Indian, which in some cases qualifies as a form of code switching. All right. So for today's slot, we'll start with what is Manglish, what does it mean. So I've just spoken a little bit of it, and then we'll followed by how Manglish is constructed. Okay, what makes it exist in Malaysia, and for the most important parts, we'll go through the examples of what Manglish is. All right.
Okay, so anda semua dah bersedia untuk nak belajar ataupun nak tahu apa itu Manglish dalam Fun Friday with English. Anda kena teruskan bersama kami selepas ini, dan kita rehat dulu. MYSUARA FM, Citra Generasi Informatif. Okay, Manglish. Jom.
Alright, so speaking of Manglish, Manglish is a Malaysian. Okay, we all know. For those who just join us to this morning, Manglish is a Malaysian speaking style. Okay, it is actually a style.
Is it not accent?
But yes,
is it
accent too, styles too, is a little bit of everything. Okay, style with many similarities with the Singaporean Singlish. Okay, it is I would say probably we can use the word distorted. Yeah, distorted. Yang maksudnya macam tak sempurna.
Okay.
Dia macam not really proper. It's a bit improper. So we call it distorted. Usage of English that is mainly spoken between the locals. Only locals knows Manglish, right?
Yeah, betul.
Yes. And locals, actually, being a locals like us, we rarely speak to foreigners, right? Okay. And if let's say we speak to them, we won't use Manglish.
Yes.
Automatically, we will use proper English, right?
Yes.
Yes. And locals rarely speak to foreigners or traveler using Manglish. So it may seem, because if you use it, it may seem a little embarrassing and inappropriate for a local to speak to a foreigner in Manglish, as it is not proper usage of the English language. So, and furthermore, a foreigner may not understand and frown upon Manglish usage, okay, with the la, can, especially for the first timer, being in Malaysia, they may frown upon, maksudnya tunjuk berkerut. And, try to listen and identify Manglish, it is spoken between the locals. It is noted that anyway, just like me, I stay in Bukit Antarabangsa. It is a place where many expatriates are there. So I noticed that some expatriates, working and living in Malaysia, has picked up on Manglish and seem to want to blend in by using Manglish. They somehow can understand it. And there are some of them who try to even use it. Probably they want to adapt with our society, right? All right, so that is what Manglish is. Moving on, probably we can discuss a bit on how Manglish is constructed. How does it exist in Malaysia? All right. So we all know that, by historically in Malaysia, we have early Chinese immigrants, Indian immigrants, Malay and Aborigines. All right. So, and if we have a look at the education system too, we have Chinese school, we have English school, we have Malay school, we have Tamil school, we also have religious schools, we have also, Chinese private independent schools, all right, we have also international schools and other factors. And all this actually contributes to Rojak languages, which at the end of the day, Manglish comes. So that's the thing. All right, so actually verbs or adjective. Okay, what is verbs? Is that okay, I want to ask you. Verbs or adjective? Verbs means kata kerja.
That's about technical, please.
Okay, verbs or adjective. Adjective means kata sifat. So verbs or adjective from other languages, often have English affixes. Okay, affixes, and conversely, sentences may be constructed using English words in another language syntax. So people tend to translate phrases directly from their first language into English. Just like us, kita do direct translation. We call it direct translation. All right. For instance, on the light.
Lampu.
Bukakan lampu. On the light.
Switch on actually.
It should be turn on the light or switch on the light. Okay. It should have something else, switch or turn, right? But normally, especially the Malay, we just simply say it, on the light, please. That is still okay. But sometimes
Open the light.
open the light. Yes.
Open light.
Open the light. Okay. If we take it literally, it's like
Because in Malay we just say, buka lampu.
Buka lampu. Yes, buka lampu. Not only Malay, it also happening to the Chinese, Indian. Open the lights, because we tend to translate it directly from our first language, from our mother tongue. All right. So next, how does it comes? Manglish also uses some archaic British term from the era of British colonization. For example, ghostan.
Ghostan.
Yes. Ghostan reverse a vehicle apparently from the nautical term go aston. Go aston.
So,
G-O.
Make short. Ghostan.
Yes. Okay.
Makcik-makcik kita dulu lah. Ghostan.
Yes.
Lagi.
Go aston. G-O, one word. A-S-T-E-R-N.
Go aston.
Yeah, that is, a British term from the era of British colonization. Okay, but mostly ghostan, mostly used in Terengganu, Kelantan, Kedah, or Penang.
Finally, it's become a local language.
Yes.
Ghostan.
Yeah. And terror? Terror, for example, right? So now we know that there are a few factors, which contribute to the existence of Manglish in Malaysia.
Terror is, if in Manglish, maksud terror tu is hebat lah.
Yes.
But in English, terror mean ganas, right?
Pronounced as the real terror means something which is terrible. Yes.
They take from terror.
And something yang horror. That is the real meaning. HORTERROR. Terror. Okay.
Alright, so kita berehat dulu Miss Wan, dan selepas ini
Yes.
kembali lagi dalam segmen Fun Friday with English dengan topik kita hari ini, Manglish. MYSUARA FM.
Stay tuned.
MYSUARA FM, Citra Generasi Informatif. Okey, kembali lagi bersama saya dan juga Miss Wan dalam segmen Fun Friday with English dengan tajuk Manglish. Okay, Miss Wan, let's continue.
All right. So just now we just talk about, we have discussed what Manglish is and how does it constructed. Okay, what make it exist in Malaysia. And now let's go through a few examples of the words, which constitute Manglish in Malaysia. So, we say the language is English, right? But over the years, Okay, it has taken on board so many local characteristics. Local characteristics, we take a little bit of Malay language, Tamil language and Mandarin here, a little bit here and there, and mix it together. And when there are so many local characteristics, it's somehow it can be quite distinct from the original English. All right, so the result is Malaysian English or Manglish. So as with many, tenses and plurals are simplified, we are actually simplifying the language. Because to us, to Malaysians, to the locals who have been using Manglish, we don't really mind about the language. We don't really mind about the grammar rules, But as long as the message can be conveyed, you boleh sampaikan message, that's it. Okay, that is okay already. That is why for certain people who speak proper English, especially those who are teaching language, they would find it a little bit embarrassing. Yes, but it is actually subjective. Okay, there are also to me, for those who speak Manglish, it is actually one of their efforts to try using the language. Yes, that is, to me, as long as it can be understood, that is fine. Because sooner or later, through years, through experience, they would somehow learn the proper way.
Even until now, we as a Malaysian also, bila kita bercakap bahasa Melayu pun masih ada yang
yes,
tak betul,
correct.
Kan? Why nak malu bila belajar atau cakap English?
Do not be shy and do not really just don't simply stop people who speak Manglish. As long as it can be understood, that is okay. All right. So moving on, let's go through the the examples or the attributes of certain words which constitute Manglish. All right. The very first word that comes to my mind is the word can. Can, yes. Can is used extensively. Sangat luas penggunaannya. Can is used extensively as both a questions particle and an answer particle. Okay. So the negative is cannot. All right. So we have a lot of versions of can. For example, can lah. Cannot lah. Can or not? How about can leh? The degree of confirmation is different. Arin, can we go dinner tomorrow?
Cannot lah.
Cannot. Okay, that is totally negative. How about can? Can. The intonation, how you project your voice.
Can.
Yes,
okay, no problem.
How about macam if you hesitate to say yes, can. The intonation would somehow sending the message.
Actually,
yes,
it sounds unique. What?
Yeah, yes, it's very unique. It's very unique. Seriously. How about can lah. If I say, Arin, can I borrow your car? Can lah. Is that sincere or not? If I say, can. No, take my car key.
Take. Balik also can.
That sounds sarcastic pula. Alright. So the word can itself,
Malay is a sarcastic people. Right?
Yes. Malay, Chinese, all Malaysians lah. See lah. That is can. The can alone has a variety of functions itself. What's more lah? La, speaking of la, the la word is usually used to present a sentence as rather light going, and not so serious. Okay. So the suffix has no specific meaning. Tak ada meaning sangat. So for example, Arin, don't be so worried lah.
Actually memang no meaning, right?
Betul, memang no meaning. Just like macam to menyedapkan ayat, to make it
just like want to show your expression. Actually.
Yes, okay. And in Malay, lah is actually used to change a verb into a command or used to soften its tone, nak melembutkan tone. Contohnya kata diam.
Diam lah.
Diam lah. Lain.
Sometimes
it's different.
When we not put the la, word la, the words is like very strict.
very strict. The
And
tone is so serious, right?
Yes. So people will feel not comfortable with you. Then
Yes.
you put a la there.
Yeah, you soften its tone, the
Okay.
tone, okay? Particularly when the usage of the verb may seem impolite. Let's say you are in a debates or in a conversations where you have some sort of arguments. Okay, so to soften the message, you may probably use the word la. You know, it's one of the strategies, right? And like that lah. Like what? How can I use this? Like that lah. So like that lah.
Like that.
Like that. Used generally to sum up an imperfect situation which you cannot do much about. All right.
And one thing I realised in Manglish, we use double word. Contoh,
For example,
what is it? Play.
don't play. That is direct translation.
Yeah,
Jangan
but-
main-main. Yes.
We double the
Together.
yeah, something like that.
Itulah. Yes, correct. That's the beauty of the Manglish. All right, the God, G-O-T, God.
God, okay.
Yes, God word. Okay, God words. God actually referring to English, it means ada. Ada ke tak? You got or not? Mana ada? Mana ada? People will answer mana ada, mana where, right? Where God? That is very Manglish, I tell you. That is not proper English at all.
Broken totally.
Where God? So there is, there are, and has or have are both expressed using God. So that sentences can be translated into either way back to British or American English. So this is equivalent to the Chinese you to have. Sama je. You got question? Arin, you got questions to ask so far?
No.
Ada questions ke? But in proper English,
Do you have any questions?
yes, correct. Do you have a questions to ask? A bit longer. Okay, that's why I said Manglish.
Just make simple.
Yeah, we
No question,
simplify
okay.
almost everything. Yes, correct. All right. Is there a questions or do you have a questions? Okay, those are proper ways on how we ask. Got question ah? Dah ada belakang. Tu tak tengok apa facial expressions lagi. You got questions.
Confident.
Okay. All right. So sometimes Malaysians they get onto the bus. And this bus got aircon or not? It's supposed to be. Is there air conditioning on this bus? Very proper and attitude. Or
Very buku.
or does this bus have air conditioning? All right. Or where God? I saw you last night with your boyfriend. And then people say, where God? You try to deny things. Mana ada? The word where God itself can be used in many, contexts. One of them is, mana ada? You want to deny something. Okay?
No lah.
Or no lah. No lah. See, we play with the intonations, right? The intonations can go many ways, many styles. You can do it. There are a lot of things.
Okay, Miss Wan, kita rehat sekejap. Dan lepas
Alright.
ni, kita kembali lagi bersama dengan Miss Wan dalam topik
Manglish.
MYSUARA FM Citra Generasi Informatif. Okey, kita ada lebih kurang dalam 20 minit lagi bersama dengan Miss Wan Solihah. Panjang lagi sebenarnya 20 minit tu. 3-4 story lagi boleh keluar.
Yes.
Okey, jom kita sambung. Miss Wan, okay, what is next?
Alright, so for those who just joined us, we are now speaking about Manglish. Okay, which means Malaysian English. It stands for Malaysian English, okay, and some people call it Manglish. So it is actually just some info for those who just joined us. It is actually a speaking style, an English speaking style with many similarities with the Singaporean English. So Singaporean English, they call it Singlish. Okay, it is, I would say, a distorted usage of English that is mainly spoken between the locals. Okay, only locals can understand Manglish better. All right, so moving on to the examples of Manglish. Just now we have discussed a few words like la, can. Okay, we have also, apart from words, we have also the exclamation. For example, we have ayah. or ayo, ayo. Ah,
That's just
yes.
that's a language actually. That's just like
I would say an exclamation or a
exclamation.
term of exasperation. You
Mhm.
want to express your feelings, so it comes in the form of words.
I realize that Englishman tak ada
Mhm.
benda tu.
Yeah, they don't really have that.
They just
Yes.
direct to the words.
Yes. And sometimes by using all these, terms of exasperations, it can
Aduh.
it can convey messages to the locals. For example, if you see you park your car behind someone else's car, and then the driver suddenly came out and go to you and say ayah, so you know something is wrong there. Ayah, with the mata terbeliak, the I would say not so pleasant facial expressions, so you know you're in trouble. Only with the word ayah.
Yo.
A term of exasperations, not always to be taken, completely seriously. Sometimes they also joke about it with the words. All right, so we also have the word one.
One.
Not one Solihah, but one. O-N-E, one.
Oh, one. Satu. Okay.
Yes. It is sometimes it is hard to translate, but it is generally used as emphasis. You not emphasize things. It is actually an emphasis of something. For example, why you so like that one?
Oh, why like that one? Okay.
Or it is used as an emphasis at the end of a sentence. For example, why is he so naughty one?
The naughty one. Okay.
The naughty one. But the word one must be there.
Okay. Another one?
Another one.
Okay.
Yang satu lagi. Okay, that is okay. But speaking of why you are so naughty one, why you like this one? Why you are so beautiful one? What is always there for some reasons. I don't know, probably just to complete the sentence as the way we used to do it. And this is only in Malaysia. We call stranger, or those who sells the hawker stalls, the owner of the hawker stalls, uncle or auntie. In Malaysia, everyone that you meet will be your uncle or auntie. Akak, abang, uncle, auntie. But speaking of English, it is uncle and auntie. Very informal, but it is actually just to show respect. Yes, correct. It is respectful term for anyone older than you. I do have a foreigner friends who came to Malaysia a few weeks ago. He asked me, why you call everyone uncle and auntie? You are all brotherhood. So I was like, no, this is just a term that we choose. We have been using it for years to show respect.
Because usually they use the madam,
yes,
sir,
yes,
right,
yes, yes, correct, Mr.
But we use the uncle,
They're very
kakak,
formal.
abang,
Yeah.
hey bro.
Hey bro. Since when?
Sis.
Since when I'm your brother? Or sis, sister. No, luckily they call you father, mother.
Soon. But in Indonesia they call bapak, mama. Bapak, mak.
Bapak, ibu, right? Yes, correct.
Everything their mother.
Yes. So that's when we go to other countries where they don't call their friends, the strangers, uncle or auntie, which is looking at the literal meaning, it has blood connection. But we just simply use it here. It somehow show how much warm, how much the welcome, the sense of welcome that we have here in Malaysia. To me, this is very unique and beautiful.
We are brotherhood also.
Yeah. And it shows, the togetherness that we have here.
One Malaysia.
Yeah, very one Malaysia. And we have also boss.
Thank you, boss.
Thank you, boss. Although he's not your boss. But we somehow...
Boss, ini macam mana?
Boss ni macam mana? Boss is actually, I would say, same thing like uncle and auntie, just to show respect too. Because... by literal meaning, we know that boss is someone who have higher position than us. So if we use it to call people, as simply as boss, they will feel happy, they will feel delighted to entertain you, especially when you're about to ask questions. Boss, can you show me this? Even you can call security guard as boss. They will feel very happy. Boss is actually a common form of address, particularly in eateries. Okay. Okay, just for example, order drink, boss. You are actually, or asking him to do something, to take your order, to lap meja and all. But to make it in such a polite way, we call him boss or her boss. So that's the beauty of Manglish. It is actually a language not only to simplify things, it make things easier for us to to say it out, but also it help us in soften the message, the tone. So that's the thing. Something very close to our heart.
Okay, we just left 10 minutes.
Alright.
But kita dengar dululah lagu
Alright.
ni sebab ada masa lagi. Selepas ni kembali di MYSUARA FM.
Stay tuned.
MYSUARA FM Citra Generasi Informatif. Okay, Miss Wan, we just have left 5 minutes.
Oh, 5 minutes?
Less than 5 minutes actually.
Okay.
Then you talk now, left one.
Okay, so speaking of Manglish, we have gone through what does it mean by Manglish, how does it constitute here, what makes it exist in Malaysia, the reasons behind the existence, and we have also gone through the examples of Manglish. So anyway, Manglish, for some people, they might see it as something embarrassing, because to them that is not a proper way of speaking English. But to some people who speak English, who speak Manglish specifically, they might see it, as a way of expressing one of the opportunity of the platform for Malaysian to speak English, even not in a proper way, but this is one of the ways they can try speaking it, right? So, a video. So, anyway, all I can say is Manglish is actually the sole language of Malaysians. It is a language which is very close to their heart. It is a language that you can understand each other even without proper language. We can somehow get the meaning of what each others try to convey, even without the proper rules of grammar. All right, so that is a very, very unique language, which we can't have it, in other countries. So Malaysians have to really appreciate it. It is actually a sort of identity of us. It is Malaysians' identity. And having to say that, although we honor our English, we honor Malaysian English, we honor the Manglish, the usage of Manglish, we have to be realistic too. Okay, this is my opinion. We have to be realistic too, in the sense that we have to know what the global trend demands us for now. We have also know that we are actually, communicating with the people around the globe, not only in Malaysia. Okay, Manglish is suitable to use between locals, Malaysian and Malaysian. But to expand your network, to have, better communications with people around the globe, you have to use proper English. So somehow we have to strike the balance.
Yes.
Balance, has to be there.
Like pidato.
Semangat. Balance has to be there. Balance is, you need to have the balance in the sense that you learn both ways. You know what proper English is, and you know what Manglish is. For example, the usage of what just now, where God, you know when can you use where God, and you also have to know when can you turn to the proper way of using it. So to me, towards the era globalization, you have to really know proper English. Speaking of, from perspective of English lecturer, this is what I'm gonna say. People can read it too. Okay, know both sides, proper English and also Manglish. Alright.
Okay,
so.
thank you Miss Wan, and terima
Alright.
kasih kepada Universiti Utara Malaysia Kuala
Yes.
Lumpur juga. Dan insyaAllah kita berjumpa minggu depan, ada tak?
Ada, insyaAllah.
Jangan hilang Jangan tak bangun.
Yes. Alright, so to all listeners out there, hope this slot have benefited everyone. So see you again, same day, same time. So thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.